those that have joined our seminar today, I would like to say welcome. We're going to have a lot of great information to provide you with some heavy hitters as our panelists. Welcome to the NCBN Bridge Builder number 8 series. We'd like to start this presentation with the national anthems of Nigeria and Canada. Hello, everyone. My name is Malcom Wright. I will be your moderator for today. I'm a senior education consultant at Link Education Consulting, Inc., as well as director of operations at Nobelum. And welcome to our Bridge Builder number 8 series hosted by NCBN. When you hear the name Bridge Builder, I want you to keep in mind that we are all global citizens. We want to make sure that we reap the benefits of the international community, and it is my honor to serve you guys as your MC today. And for those who don't know about NCBN and all of our initiatives, I would like to prompt you to watch this short video.
Like you, can you be a mentor to others? A tree can never be a forest. People need people to succeed in life. Nobody succeeds alone in business without the help of others. The Nigerian and Canadian Business Network, NCBN, wants you to join our paradigm shift to grow the number of business owners and entrepreneurs within our communities. Our Bridge Builders Series virtual forum is a must-attend online. Register now at www.ncbn.ca for our free B3 Town Hall meetings. Join other successful business entrepreneurs from both Canada and Nigeria who are helping each other to succeed in life. We network without borders. Let's build a stronger bilateral relationship between Canadians and Nigerians. I look forward to meeting you at our next event. Log on now to www.ncbn.ca and become a member.
Today, what we're trying to do is show you the opportunities here in Canada by providing essential information about the businesses and the representatives that hold an office. And the great thing about what NCBN does in particular is they cater to the people. So for those who have actually joined the call, I'm sure that you have piqued some sort of interest as to what you can do in Canada, whether it be building businesses, whether it be education. And luckily we have government officials and other like-minded individuals that will be able to give us some guidance regarding what kind of opportunities we hold in Canada. That is the whole essence of NCBN in particular. So on the call today, we have the Honourable Abike Dabiri-Erewa, who is the Chairman, Nigerians and Diaspora Commission. With just a little bit of a background about herself, she is the Nigerian politician and former member of the Nigeria Federal House of Representatives. She's also the chairman of the House Committee on Media and Publicity. She was the former chair of the House Committee on Diaspora Affairs. She was elected for the first time in 2003 and re-elected in 2007 and 2011. In 2015, she was appointed as a senior special assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on Foreign Affairs and Diaspora. We will now leave it to the Honourable Chairman to make our opening remarks. So please, Ms. Honourable Abike. Yes.
Thank you very much, and good evening here, good afternoon over there, or it's a good morning over there. And it really is my pleasure and privilege to be here at the 8th Bridge Builder Series. And I'm proud to say that I've been at virtually every Bridge Builder Series event that has been hosted by the NCBN. Let me pay my respect and compliments to His Excellency, the Canadian Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, His Excellency Teshome Nkrumah. And I'm sure, like I keep saying, you're home in Lagos, Nigeria, and we hope we keep you home forever. You're not going back to Canada. My sister, Miss Abike, Tairu, the Trade Commissioner for Global Affairs Canada, is nice to meet you here. And of course, I hope our compare Malcom Wright, nice to have you here. And my shout out to King Wale Adesanya, who has always worked tirelessly to bridge and build, to build a bridge between Nigerians at home and Nigerians in the diaspora, Canadians in the diaspora, Nigeria Canadians in the diaspora and the home country. So it's my privilege to be at the 8th of this series of the Bridge Builder Series. Well, I'll not be doing much of the talking, but to say that this is most commendable, most appreciated. For us here in Nigeria, because we realized the need to bridge, to build this bridge, we recently announced the setting up of the Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund. Mr. President has given us the go-ahead to have a Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund. In other words, for the first time, we have a perfect structure to have the diaspora contribute to investments in their country. So all these issues of you're just sending money, you don't know where it's going to, will have to stop. So we're proud about that, and we hope to put the structure in place very soon. And I'm sure the NCBN will have a major role to play in this. And of course, we have the annual Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit. Again, I want to thank NCBN, who led a strong delegation to our last Diaspora Investment Summit here in Abuja in November last year. It was very, very successful. It was very well attended, and we're proud that Nigerians in the diaspora are beginning to come home to see what they can do. And I'm seeing Canadians coming to Nigeria to see what they can do, and at the same time, seeing what businesses can also be done in Canada. So thank you, NCBN, for that. And of course, you know that we have a diaspora policy that includes what you're doing, building a bridge between every one of us at home and in the diaspora. So really, NITCOM tallies with the objective of NCBN and what you're doing today. And we'll continue to work with you and encourage you, because it's about working together. It's about partnerships. It's about those linkages. It's about saying we can all do this together, whether we're home or in the diaspora. And the Nigerian in Canada, we're so proud of what they're doing over there. And we hope that we continue to encourage them to put in their best in their home country, as well as in the country of residence where you all are. So I'll just say that I want to welcome everybody as the chairman of Diaspora Commission and let you know that whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in Canada, we can work together. Whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're in Canada, we can build that bridge together. And it's about contributing together. It's about developing wherever we find ourselves and be the best we are wherever we find ourselves. Thank you for opening up opportunities to Nigerians wherever they are, and to Canadians too. So we want to see Canadian investments in Nigeria, just as we encourage Nigerians in Canada to also invest back home. So I look forward to a very robust conversation, and I look forward to more partnerships, and I look forward to more engagements between Nigeria and Canada with His Excellency Ambassador Teshome, who I'm sure is enjoying his life in Lagos. So we look forward to what we talked about, having the alumni come together and have more conversations and see how we can work together, particularly for the younger generation of the diaspora, whether you're in Nigeria or in Canada. There's so much more we can do. And finally, I'll have to talk about diaspora voting, which I know means a lot to the Nigerians in Canada. We keep working at it. I'm not sure it's going to happen in 2023. That's bad news, but we keep working at it. So once more, we thank you for your contribution to the Nigerian economy. Your remittances, what you do back home, your investments, we won't take that for granted. And as we begin with that Nigeria Diaspora Investment Trust Fund, we want to work more with you. We know that we can rely a lot on Nigerians in Canada. So once more, NCBN, thank you for putting this together. There's a lot more we can do, and there's a lot more we will do together. So once more, I look forward to a robust conversation, and hopefully at the end of this all, we'll all work at implementing whatever it is we come out with. So thank you very much for inviting me, and I look forward to a great event this evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Honor, for the wise words. And as you were saying, what really resonated with me with all the things that you're saying is collaboration. This is the opportunity for individuals within the Nigerian community to really collaborate and come together and build that bridge in order to make sure that there's a clear path to the success of NCBN and the Nigerian community in its entirety. So now I would like to take a moment to really introduce His Excellency Teshome Nkrumah, where he will be talking about some of his roles as he plays as the Deputy High Commissioner of Canada. So some of his background is not only is he the Deputy High Commissioner of Canada, he's also the Senior Trade Commissioner to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I'm a little jealous. He's probably warm out there as we're doing a little shivering here in Ontario in particular. But of course, his role is essential for business services between Canada and Nigeria. He leads Canada's diplomatic and commercial engagements in Nigeria's economic capital, Lagos. A seasoned diplomat, Teshome has successfully led high-profile trade policy and program priorities, such as negotiating federal, provincial, and territorial compliance for implementation of the Canada-European Union Free Trade Agreement in 2017. He also leads teams by advising and supporting Canadian exporters at Global Affairs Canada. Teshome had worked for 9 years on the Treasury Board and 2 years as a senior program analyst for the Department of National Defense. So, Your Excellency, if you don't mind, the floor is yours.
Thank you so very much, Michael. And thank you to the NCBN for the opportunity in this platform here today. So it's just Teshome. It's a pleasure to be here. And I'd love to acknowledge this amazing lady, the Honourable Abike Dabiri-Erewa, who I have had the pleasure of meeting through the good offices of the Chairman King Wali Adesanya, of this organization. And I think that just that connection alone to the Honourable Abike is an example of the type of bridge building that this association does that adds tremendous value. Both personally and professionally, it's a pleasure to have met her acquaintance. And I look forward to similar collaborations and exchanges with the Nigerian Canadian Business Network. Shout out to you, Michael, for handling with so much finesse and aplomb the technical challenges here today. This is getting used to the challenges of a virtual engagement globally. It brings its benefits, but of course it brings its challenges. Here, as you know, in Nigeria, sometimes we deal with a bit of a challenge around power intermittency. So I'm praying that the gods will be generous to us today and I do not lose light in my SQ momentarily, in which case then you may see it suddenly go dark in the back, but it will come back on in no time. I'd also like to recognize the shining light, and one of the shining lights in our trade ministry, our fellow speaker, Ms. Abike Tairu, who is a trade commissioner and is a member of the global network that I represent as the senior trade commissioner here in Nigeria. But most of all, I'd like to wish everyone, both in Canada and who's joining from around the world, a happy and prosperous New Year. But most of all, I wish you all very good health. So, I understand the mandate of the NCBN, but in terms of what it is that we do here in Nigeria as part of the Trade Commissioner Service, it's important to note that our primary mandate is to facilitate Canadian exports to Nigeria, whether that's exports of goods and services or to attract foreign investment from Nigeria to Canada. However, one of the core principles that I try to reflect in my work is mutual benefit. Nigeria is a developing society. It's a country with tremendous potential, but it needs also at the same time partnerships with countries like Canada that brings either technological know-how, foreign investment, skills and training and capacity building that can help Nigeria really hit its stride as a developing country. So it is my honor to serve Canada, my country that I love, on the continent of Africa where I trace my ancestry. I arrived here in September 2021. Lagos is a vibe. It took some getting used to, but now I'm settled and I'm thoroughly enjoying the city. The Trade Commissioner Service in Nigeria, in addition, as you mentioned, to being the Deputy High Commissioner, I'm also the Senior Trade Commissioner. In that role, I lead a 6-person trade team that splits between Lagos and Abuja, the federal capital. We provide the same high-value TCS services as all our offices around the world. So any Nigerian in Canada interested in reinvesting or doing business back in Nigeria has access to our services, and we provide market potential assessment. That is, we provide advice on the potential of your good and service to find buyers here in Nigeria or customers here in Nigeria. We provide introductions of qualified contacts, whether that's lawyers, accountants, logistics companies, you name it. We provide these types of contacts. We also work very closely with Canadian companies to solve problems here in the market, whether it is clearing goods from customs, whether it's providing advice or access to individuals in government that can help to answer questions. So problem solving is a huge part, and in a complex market like Nigeria, it's one of the key value added that we bring to the table. My colleague Abby, she in the regional office mostly deliver this service, which is preparation for international markets, but we also provide this type of support to Canadian companies as well. So just a little bit, if we step back about the commercial context in Nigeria. Doing business in Nigeria is challenging. Sometimes it is not for the faint of heart. But companies that are ready will find tremendous potential here. tremendous opportunity. With a USD 480 million GDP in 2021, Nigeria is currently the largest economy in Africa. As the sixth most populous country in the world with over 200 million population, it has a large and growing consumer market. It is blessed with abundant natural resources, a young, low-cost labor pool, and preferential market access to ECOWAS member countries, and through the Africa Free Trade Agreement, countries across the continent, meaning that doing business in Nigeria is a platform often to doing business throughout the continent now. Like most countries, it has faced economic headwinds due to COVID and low oil prices, but is recovering from its worst recession since 1980s, registering in Q3 of 2021 a 4.3% GDP increase. In terms of key economic sectors here in Nigeria, of course, 50% of the GDP comes from the service sector, so telecommunications, financial services, etc. About 30% is in agriculture, while industries of all kinds, both oil and non-oil, account for roughly 20%, with oil registering in at 7.5% of GDP. Canada and Nigeria share a robust commercial partnership. Nigeria is Canada's second largest bilateral merchandise trading partner in sub-Saharan Africa. And Nigeria happens to be the largest source of foreign direct investment from Africa into Canada. In 2020, our bilateral trade was about $1.4 billion and growing. Canadian exports to Nigeria were around 700 million, and Nigeria's exports to Canada were around 650 million. Nigeria pretty much exports to Canada minerals, vegetable products, and processed foods, and Canada exports to Nigeria farm products, mainly wheat. About 40% of our exports to Nigeria is wheat. In 2019, we also export fishing and intermediate food products, motor vehicles, aircrafts, vessels, industrial machinery, etc. Why do I tell you all of that? Because if you're a Nigerian sitting in Canada looking for opportunities to invest or to do business, leverage your skills, leverage your capitals, leverage the ecosystem that enables trade in Canada to come back to a country you know, or to do business with a country or market you know well, then it's helpful to know which sectors offer the most promise. The Trade Commissioner Service, what we do is we focus on priority sectors. So here in Nigeria, we have 6 priority sectors that we proactively support and promote trade between Canada and Nigeria in. And importantly, they're aerospace. And in that area, we focus a lot on maintenance, repair, and overhaul. So this is of airframes and aircraft's airframes. Executive jets, believe it or not, is a very interesting, but also a focus area for us, with Bombardier focusing a lot of their effort in this space, and quite a few impressive sales in recent years. It's interesting that Nigeria, there's no heavy maintenance capabilities currently in Nigeria or West Africa. The facilities are being developed currently in Lagos and Abuja, but this offers a tremendous opportunity for Canadian companies in that space. Agriculture is another key area of focus for us. Livestock genetics. This is basically improving the productivity of Nigerian livestock through breeding with Canadian high yield, high productive livestock genetics. Fish and seafood is another area, and egg tech. So the other priority sectors are clean technology, education, ICT, and of course, oil and gas. And we see a lot of opportunity here now with the new Petroleum Industry Act in the areas of capacity building, gas commercialization, and bitumen extraction and processing. Agriculture and aerospace are the 2 new sectors, as I mentioned. We had 4. Since I've started, we've prioritized these 2 sectors in particular. So our focus will be increasing in these areas and just building the market intelligence, that's knowledge of the opportunities here in the market, and feeding that back to Canadian companies through webinars, trade missions, etc. Over the next year, we're ramping up in my office to do some robust programming. It's been a few years now that COVID has really put a dampener on a lot of the commercial activity that we've seen in previous years. So we're hopeful that we're seeing the tail end of COVID, and we will be able to do a lot more engagement here in Nigeria, subject to COVID, of course. So we've developed our programming over the next little while to, in Q1 and Q2, focus on virtual and hybrid programming. And then we'll start doing a lot more in-person programming and events in Q3 and Q4. And those in-person events include trade missions. So bringing delegations from Canada to Nigeria and vice versa. We plan, and so this is to you, Malcom, sorry, and to King Wale, we plan to engage and partner with a variety of industry stakeholders on delivering high quality, high value events. So this is your notice. We will be coming, knocking on your door often with the goal of collaborating on some of these initiatives. So you're interested in doing business in Nigeria. What are some of the challenges you can expect? If you're interested in doing business here, then currently you should be aware of some of the Forex challenges. In 2015, there was the introduction of a new Forex regime that made converting Naira more challenging, more difficult. Sometimes for foreign companies, and if you're a Nigerian registered company in Canada doing business in Nigeria, then you're considered a foreign company, and despite your Nigerian roots. And so, you know, there are policies of indigenization and self-sufficiency, which can present at times significant barriers to Canadian participation. But there are ways to address those types of challenges. Sometimes also you run into very complicated logistics. You can face lengthy shipment delays, difficulty clearing goods through customs. Surface transportation can be risky as well. So complicated logistics. Then there are funding challenges sometimes. A lot of the SMEs here will be looking towards a Canadian partner often to provide investment and financing to do business. Other notable challenges may include high inflation, which can erode buying power for companies. And so how you do your currency transactions are very, very important, but these are areas where the TCS can also provide some advice. And of course, in 2023 is the upcoming federal elections, and past experience has shown that there's a slowdown in government project approval during that period. So those are some of the challenges. In terms of my other priorities, and I'll wrap it up quickly here, for 2022-23, we're in the midst of our planning period for the next fiscal year, which starts on April 1st. And so we are looking forward to resuming negotiations on a bilateral foreign investment protection agreement with Nigeria. We started these negotiations back in 2014. You know, there've been some bumps around the road, but now both countries have agreed to restart negotiations. And so we're looking forward to actually having that take place and concluded to provide the added confidence to Canadian investors and Nigerian investors, vice versa. We're looking at reestablishing our presence after COVID. Our visibility was decreased significantly, as with most people. So we're going to be very forward-leaning here at the Deputy High Commission to really try to raise the presence of Canada in Nigeria, especially on my part here in Lagos and in southern Nigeria. And finally, on the priorities side, my singular objective on the IBD is new client attraction. So hence why I'm so happy to speak to you. There's a tremendous amount of opportunity and business can be done, but Canadian companies have often been a bit risk adverse when it comes to dealing with markets beyond the US, far less Nigeria. And we provide as a TCS some services that can help mitigate some of these risks. one of the benefits of speaking to a group of largely Nigerian Canadians is that you know the environment, you know the country, you have a context, you understand how things work here. And so that is a huge added advantage. So when we talk about building bridges, what I often like to say to Nigerian audiences is that the large Nigerian diaspora in Canada is a value added to Nigeria as well as Canada. We often hear about brain drain, but constituencies such as you offer an opportunity to really, either through remittances or knowledge or expertise or trade, bring so much back to Nigeria from your Canadian experience. In terms of, we have a lot of global international competition. We have China, the US, UK, Netherlands, India, France, Spain, and Belgium are major competitors here. But despite international competition, like I said, Canadian businesses can and do succeed in Nigeria. And the TCS here in Nigeria, our office, is ready and willing to help you succeed. Hopefully 2022 will see a turnaround in global trade and growth in our bilateral ties between Canada and Nigeria. But contact us, let us have a conversation about how we can help. Thank you very much.
Thank you for all your words, His Excellency, Your Excellency. A slow clap. Thank you so much. And if you're knocking on our door, we're always open to you. So hopefully what we could do is really establish that dialogue with you directly about all the opportunities that have come in terms of investments for Nigeria. So right now I want to take the time to kind of open up a little Q&A, some questions and answers. And I'll start off with the first question for His Excellency. How can we utilize your position to benefit Nigerians who would like to come to Canada? And how can we get rid of the stigma associated with the sensitivity of doing business with Nigeria in particular? Okay,
wow. Well, so I get this question about quite often. I work for the Canadian, for Global Affairs Canada. So part of it is I'm going to give you partly a bureaucratic answer and then I'll give you another answer, but I'm not in the immigration ministry. So it's important to understand both in Canadian audiences as well as Nigerian audiences that at the end of the day, immigration decisions are made by officers and officials of the Department of Immigration. Nigerians who are interested in going to Canada, we have very well established and elaborated processes, visa application processes, etc. Lately, admittedly, our caseload has seen a pretty significant backlog. And the reason for that is largely within the last couple of years anyways, guess what? COVID. The reality is, there has been a global travel ban. Visa applications were being accepted, but the ability to process them was restrained because people couldn't travel. That is starting to correct itself. And we're hopeful also that additional resources will be brought to bear to begin to make some decisions that will reduce that caseload. I know it can be challenging, I know it can be frustrating, but really, we've all gone through a pretty horrendous last 2 years. So I think we can understand that our colleagues are dealing with that stuff. But then also communication. I think one of the big challenges that we run into in terms of folks who are interested to travel to Canada is just understanding how the Canadian process works. I get so many questions from folks who ask whether, for example, they should speak to immigration consultants. And this is not a knock against immigration consultants. They do very important, valuable work. But our process is designed to allow people to navigate it on their own, and a lot of folks do successfully. So I think some of this education, and this is something that I do whenever I speak to audiences, helps to sort of demystify the process, clarify it, and just help folks understand how Canada approaches some of these decisions.
Thank you for your words. And I love the optimism in particular. It feels as if we've been living in a bad reality TV show for the last 2 years. And I'm sure that everyone's very anxious to actually travel and see what kind of opportunities lie outside of their borders. I see the Honourable Ms. Abike has her hand up. Would you like to state something?
Yes, please. I just wanted to ask, by the way, great presentation, Teshome. And I wanted to ask you two things. You talked about the challenges and you were very frank about them. Because my role is to revert back to government and say, what can be done better? You know, we're trying to improve the ease of doing business, but I know there are still challenges. But if you were to recommend to us, what would you say we should do? I mean, having observed some of these challenges, particularly the indigenization thing and, you know, a few other things, what can we do better on the part of government? Because we want to see everything, do everything we can. There will be logistics problem. There will be bureaucracy. I know that. But what would you suggest we can do better to encourage more businesses, even for our Nigerians in the diaspora? They complain. Yeah. And then secondly, Canada, you've told us 6 areas you want to focus on, but how aggressive is Canada in terms of getting to the Nigerian space? Because it's a good space, no matter the challenges. For instance, the aerospace, I know something is being done. How aggressive would you be to ensure that Canada takes its rightful place and doesn't leave it's just the Americans and the Indians and the Chinese? And I think maybe we can boast of one major Canadian business in Nigeria. The chap who opened this huge manufacturing plant in the Lekki Shore. So I wanted to know more about those two things. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honourable BK. Okay, so let's start with the challenges. I think I'm going to give you a concrete example. One area that excites me tremendously is the startup space here in the ICT startup. We are seeing so much exciting developments in terms of homegrown Nigerian startups, whether it's fintech, ag tech, you name it. And what's interesting is many of these companies then use their Nigerian genesis as a platform to then expand. And we've seen, for example, Trips and others expand to Ghana and into East Africa, in Rwanda and Kenya, etc. So Nigeria has sort of a supply chain of really exciting tech startups. As a matter of fact, one of our accelerators, Techstars, in their most recent cohort, they had, and I want to get the numbers right, I believe it was a cohort of about 20, 12 were from Africa and 8 were from Nigeria. These are startups that go into a Canadian funding accelerator that receive money to funding, and then when they received, and they also receive mentoring and coaching, et cetera, and they recently had their graduation from this. A lot of them, when we speak to these startups, they say regulatory issues are not conducive. The regulatory environment is not conducive to them being the dynamic companies that they need to be. Some of them have said, well, this is why they locate part of their operations in Rwanda, for example, a place where a tremendous amount of effort has gone into creating a sort of a regulatory framework that is a sandbox so that companies can experiment and grow. So one key area would be to look at the system of regulations, both federal and at the state level, and how they incent and favor startup companies. You mentioned the bureaucracy, but I think also another issue would be financing. I know as a developing country, this is often a very challenging issue area to address because there's so many needs. But often with a small little startup, having access to, just some seed funding earlier on can be the difference between whether it grows or whether it withers away. And so just identifying a source of entrepreneurial funding for some of these companies at the early stages, would be so huge. And then there are a number of items, but I think I'd be happy to have that conversation with you. We're actually, as part of our program in next year, because startups is one of our priority areas, looking at having a panel just to talk about what Nigeria can learn from other African countries in the regulatory space that are doing some impressive things around fostering a startup ecosystem. I hope that answers your question. And then on the priority, sorry.
Yes,
that's
thank
great.
you.
That's great to hear. And as an entrepreneur myself, I'm very familiar with the startup space. I'm the director of operations at a company called Nobellum, which has a mandate to support 100 Black-owned businesses in STEM and really encourage B2B services, just like other racial counterparts such as Indians and Chinese individuals that have built that bridge to get services from their home countries and contribute to the Canadian economy. I see that, Ms. Abby, you have your hand raised as well. And then from there, we'll segue into the crowd questions. So please.
Yes, I just want to jump in. Such awesome conversation going on. Thank you, the Honourable Abike, which you just mentioned. What are the Canadian government, can't speak for the Canadian government, but I just want to pretty much present something that a lot of Canadian Nigerians or Black entrepreneurs, they don't know, is that the services that Teshome's office provides, that we provide here in Canada for entrepreneurs, are all here to help get you abroad. So when you're looking at even getting a little bit of money to start looking at expanding your business, there's certain things that qualifies. You have to be a Canadian-based company. But once you qualify under our service, we support in different areas. Teshome has called out the different areas. And if you have a certain amount of revenue that you're making, which is 100,000, it's a lot for startup businesses, but that could actually allow you to seek funding opportunities. Something that we have is called Can Export. We could talk about that offline, but getting that funding supports your business to expand to Nigeria, to start looking at your business activities and so forth. So I just want to put that also out there, but yeah, love the conversation, and I will.
Thank you for chiming in. I'm sure that a lot of people want to reap the benefits and utilize the opportunities that we have here, especially within the startup space. So now I'm going to direct the questions to the actual crowd. I have Jackson here who would like to pose a question. Jackson, I'm allowing you to talk now. Jackson, do you have a question you would like to pose? Oh, I guess he's not there. I'll move to the question box. So can you please explain how local talents in Nigeria can be recruited for the religious sector? Is there a process for that? This is from Cornelius.
Okay, religious sector. So that's the question I think is a little bit out of my wheelhouse as a trade commissioner, because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I don't see it as a trade sector necessarily. So I'm sure perhaps there's somewhere in the organization that can talk about what types of support may be available on a social or cultural exchange basis. But I'm not aware within our trade apparatus of any particular tools that are available to facilitate exchange. The religious sector is not a trade sector for the Trade Commissioner Service.
Thank you, Teshome. And I think we have one more question. The Canadian startup visa is an interesting area where Nigerians can contribute immensely to Canada. How can we help Nigeria startups to participate more in this scheme?
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, they're doing such an amazing job already. The startup visa is available to companies, of course, that pass through these incubators and accelerators that I mentioned. And so we're seeing, you know, quite a bit of interest in that startup visa. I think the way those processes are established, one of the best vehicles for companies that are interested in that process is to register with either some of the incubators or accelerators, etc., because that provides the institutional reference that is required for companies to be deemed successful in that application process.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Now I'd like to kind of segue into the next portion of our event, where we will have a little bit more introduction for Ms. Abike Tairu, who is the Trade Commissioner in the Ontario Regional Office of the Trade Commissioner Services, Global Affair Canada. The Trade Commissioner Service, or TCS, help Canadian companies navigate the complexities of international markets and make better business decisions. Abike is responsible for supporting Ontario companies in the information communication technology sector. As the Ontario Regional Office Champion of Black-owned businesses, she's actively sharing events and opportunities to increase awareness of TCS services with Black-owned and diverse businesses. I leave the floor to you, Abike.
Thank you. And I feel like the questions are so much more engaging than me talking. Again, it's a privilege to be speaking to you all and being on this amazing panel. I'm going to just try to keep it real brief so that we can just go back to questions. And feel free to reach out to me after. But one of the things as my role is that it's different. I'm not based in Nigeria, even though some days I wish I was, is that I'm based in Ontario. I'm based in Toronto. And the key thing in working with a regional office, so somebody like myself or other colleagues that are sectored focused, is that we're here to support Canadian-based companies go abroad. So that is, if you're interested in doing business in Nigeria and don't know how to penetrate the market, us being able to contact you to people in Teshome's office that can give you some more tips and tools. Another thing that people often reach out to us is understanding what other markets would be suitable. So after conquering West Africa, maybe the interest is to go to South Africa. So us being here to, again, provide you with that connection and contacts. The key for us when working with us is that we're here to support your export development and your ideas. However, we're not here to make it for you. So you use us as rather, hey, we need services, or you know what, can you refer us to somebody else? And it's important to understand what makes you ready to receive our service, and that's really being export ready. So before going to Lagos or Abuja, is that understanding, like, do you have the resources? Do you have the finances to expand, to be ready to get new contracts and deals, be introduced? Working in global affairs in our office, we are a free government service, so we do not get commission on how many people we refer to. So we want to make sure that your business is set up for success. And the last thing I'll comment on, again, we have different programs and services for the Black-led, Black-owned businesses. It's not, it's starting to be more defined. Having somebody like Teshome in the office that he's in is great, because there's going to be programs that are targeted towards what you want, what you desire. So it's great if you reach out to us. but know that we also have funding. As I mentioned, again, there's eligibility requirements that you have to meet, but if you're not there yet, doesn't mean that you can't start thinking about expanding into Nigeria or Ghana or Barbados, wherever your interest is. So on that note, I can leave my contact if you guys want to reach out and looking to get some ideas or services that could start pushing you along into new markets such as Nigeria, which I love. Yeah, that's it on my end.
Well, thank you so much for your words, and quite frankly, just kind of unpacking the thing that you said. I feel as if market analysis is very essential in any type of success for businesses. And I think that this can kind of this question can be geared to you just through your experience with the not-for-profit sector. How can bilateral relations be strengthened for the not-for-profit sector, where is more sharing of best practices on the SDG between Canadian organizations and Nigeria? And what about funding as well?
Great question. Again, working with the Trade Commissioner Services is really based off of what's your sector. As a non-for-profit, you probably have an emphasis on what you're looking to accomplish. Are you an organization or are you a company? If you're a company, there is something called CanX for SMEs. Again, there's an eligibility requirement, and that is to help companies go abroad, support their business activities, and have funding from increasing Google clicks, marketing, to attending a trade mission show in Lagos, paying for that, travel fees. But when it actually comes to, again, non-for-profit, it's sitting down with a trade commissioner and understanding, like, what is your sector focus? What are you looking to accomplish? And then we also have something called CAN Expert Innovation, and that's if you're looking to start up partnership. There's an amazing partner in Lagos that will help to launch more programs for your associations. I believe there's another program. I'm not going to call on it right now because I have to do some more fact finding, but I'm going to maybe pass the ball over to Teshome because he has been doing this a lot longer than me, so he might know as well. But yeah, that's my response.
Teshome, His Excellency, do you have anything to add to that?
We're talking about funding for SMEs?
Yes,
yeah,
correct. And not-for-profit space.
Non-for-profit, yeah.
The not-for-profit space. Is this the question related to SDGs that was in the chat?
Correct, yes.
This is that question, okay. So one thing we speak a lot about in developing countries in like Nigeria when we talk of trade, so we talk about the trade development nexus, right? And so the trade development nexus is all about the fact that the SDGs process have acknowledged that the private sector has a tremendous amount to bring to the achievement of development within developing countries. And so you can have companies helping to deliver development outcomes, and you can also have not-for-profits also helping to produce commercial results, right? All within the space of advancing the development of countries like Nigeria. So what I would say is it's a bit of a challenging space in that a not-for-profit for receipt of our service would have to be pursuing commercial ends, like commercial outcomes. And so to the extent that they are, and we see them doing that in many cases, then as you mentioned, within the department, they have access to the funding through the CAN Export, potentially, as long as they meet the eligibility criteria. Then we have a whole ecosystem of financing in Canada as well. We have development finance institutions that provide project financing, not necessarily geared to the proponent, but geared to the recipient need and the project. And so they can apply to those types of funding vehicles as well, depending on the nature of their activity. And this is why we would have to have a bit more knowledge about the not-for-profit and what kind of activities they're undertaking. There's business development bank in Canada that provides funding. If they're providing, if they're exporting, maybe EDC is another option depending on the nature of the activities, or export credit agency provide trade finance. It really will come down a lot to, okay, what is the company attempting to do? As a not-for-profit, they may also be able to access development assistance on that side. So be what we call an implementing agency on specific development projects, whether it's a capacity building project, whether it's a works infrastructure or works project. It all depends really on the nature of the activity that the not-for-profit is pursuing, and of course that they meet the various funding requirements that are out there. There are also World Bank and the Africa Development Bank provide financing for projects as well in Nigeria. So there's a whole host of financing available. There's climate financing for projects, but in each case, the organization will need to make sure that the product or service that it is offering meets the various eligibility requirements.
Great, a lot of useful information in that loaded answer for sure. And hopefully everyone kind of reaps the benefits of your expertise. There's another question that I would like to pose. Please, can you explain how local manpower can be received for a trucking company in Canada? Is that something that you'd be able to answer, or anyone would be able to answer?
Sorry, what is the question? Can you?
How local manpower can be received for a trucking company in Canada? So if I was to unpack that question, I'm assuming that you're saying establishing maybe a trucking company in Canada. Is that something that would be a priority within any of your offices?
So, yeah, my question will actually go back to the individual who asked that as, are you Canadian based or are you Nigerian based company? Because that will determine who gets it.
Fair. If Sheriff is around, Sheriff or Sharif is around, would you like to pose another question, a follow-up, or an answer to that?
And as they're thinking about it, I'll just jump in. Again, I'm a trade commissioner that's based in Ontario, so I deal with Canadian based. You have to be registered with Canada that you work, that your business is based here. And then we help to get you to go abroad. And again, to set you up for success is that, yes, you have an export plan. So us generating leads for companies is really not our job. Our job is to connect you to qualify contacts. However, in the post, there's opportunities that comes up. So Teshome might have like programs and it's like a B2B matching. Again, this is Canadian-based companies going abroad. That's an opportunity that might create leads for your company. But that's why I asked follow-up question on, are you Canadian-based or are you Nigerian-based company? Because yeah, there's a different approach. And Teshome probably has a comment.
Well, no, I was just going to say, basically, it's about mandate. It's something that falls outside of our mandate. But as a general, just in terms of general information, what I understand from the questioner is that they want to know, perhaps, if you have a trucking company in Canada and you want to access labor from Nigeria to come and work in your trucking company, that's what I think I understand from the question. That's outside of our mandate, but nonetheless, there's a process for the skilled workers program, which I believe is administered through Social Development Canada, would probably be the better venue for getting information on that. And of course, there's a skilled the worker visa program as well, that through the immigration ministry. But that information is publicly available on their website, or they can perhaps contact the folks over at Immigration Canada, IRCC, for details on those programs.
Perfect. I think that answers the question, hopefully, unless there's a follow-up. And for clarification purposes, I have a trucking company here in Canada and need to recruit local manpower from Nigeria. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of shortages in regards to the manpower of the trucking company. And I do know a little bit about the immigration background. There would have to be a labor market impact assessment saying that you can't find a Canadian individual to drive your truck. And there are certain applicable fees in order to try and recruit or actively recruit international bodies to contribute to your Canadian business.
Yeah, and just to jump in too, one of the things that qualifies a company to receive our service is that your product or solution, service has to be at least 50% made in Canada, because they want to see the economic return back to Canada, in the sense of you're hiring, the economy, things coming back to Canada, because again, we're a free government agency service, and we're paid by tax dollars. So it's like, okay, how are we further supporting the Canadian government? However, we believe in bilateral trading. It's important. So again, just want to call that out, that yes, I don't know if that helps, but recruiting, as Teshome has already clarified, recruiting labor is again outside of our mandate.
Thank you for that. So I want to actually pose a question to the Honourable Abike. So what are some of your goals in your post, and what support can you give Nigerians?
I hear you. What are some of
So what are some of the immediate goals within your post, and what support can you give Nigerians in particular?
Yes. Like for instance, what Abby said, if a Nigerian wants to invest in Nigeria and has challenges, just come to us. So what Abby deals with them in Ontario, we deal with them here. So if you have a challenge, come to us, come to the commission. So you have a problem, and we just solved some a few days ago. So if you have a challenge in doing your business, you have the Diaspora Commission. And like I said earlier, we have set up what we call the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Trust Fund. So what you want to do is, maybe imagine 1 million diasporas putting $1,000 together and deciding what they want to invest in. And then we decide what you want to do. You will decide this is what you want to do. So we are here to support the diaspora in anything you want to do. Even the Diaspora Investment Summit, we solved a lot of issues. So those little things, dotting the T's and the I's, we actually take it upon ourselves to build a bridge and go there and say, listen, there's a problem here, let's get it sorted. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we don't. That's the reality. But we do intervene in a lot of cases. So we're here for you, the diaspora. Just get in touch with us when you have a challenge, a problem. As long as you're not on the wrong side of the law, we will help you out. And like I said, there's a diaspora policy that will guide all our engagements. It's on our website, www.nidcom.gov.ng. You can read more about what we do and how we can support. And our aim is like NCBN, collaboration, partnership. There's a lot more we all can do together. So I think that's it. Thank you. And then just a minute, I'd like to mention something that His Excellency said. The issue of brain drain, brain gain. Now we call it brain circulation. So it doesn't matter when you go anywhere, it circulates. What King Wale has been in Canada for years, but we're still using his brain here in Nigeria. So really, we're not happy that our people are going. And Canada, according to figures, more Nigerians are moving to Canada. But the key thing is, even when you do move, we can connect. We can still have this collaboration. So now whichever way. So thank you.
I think we lost you a little bit, but let me be the first one to say that your presence is powerful for sure. And just the fact that Nigerians in particular have a door open in Nigeria, but also Canada is of course a great benefit because of the amount of knowledge that will come through each of our panelists' offices is vast and will guide you in the right direction. So we're closing in on the end of our presentation. And at this point in time, what I would like to do is call on Mr. King Wale Ade to share a brief video in regards to NCBN.
You know, it's a great time to be a Nigerian or Canadian in business and to be part of a strong and supportive networking group. Now, Nigerian and Canadian Business Network, NCBN, provide lucrative opportunities and added value to the bottom line. We are power circles that enhance personal, professional, and company brands. The success of a person's career depends on the strength of his or her network, expertise, hard work, and the ability to build relationships. NCBN is also the voice of Nigerian business community in Canada. NCBN symbolizes excellence, inspiration, celebration, and success for all Nigerians and Canadians doing business in both countries. We facilitate meaningful approaches to beneficial networking, embrace new ways of enriching our connections, and raising awareness of our members. Rich in our membership, we embrace business people of all ages, cultures, industries, and professions. We are mentors, sharing experiences, challenges, and wisdom, collaborating within the network, and ultimately building a great bilateral business community. Our focus is the promotion of bilateral trade between Nigeria and Canada. So join us today at www.ncbn.ca. You'll love being a member of our NCBN network.
My name is Ariel.
Thank you for the message, Mr. King Wale Ade. And now I would like to call upon you as the national chairman of the Nigerian and Canadian Business Network to do your vote of thanks.
Wow, wow, wow. This has been a great event. I don't know how to say any other word except that this has been a great success from our point of view, from any point of view. And first, I want to just let you guys know that today, Malcom and myself, in the morning, a friend, a brother, a colleague, and Malcolm's mentor, by the name Koral, Kanca, who is the principal for LinkedIn Education. It's a very good friend of ours. It's a member of the network, and he just passed away, today in Turkey, this morning. So it's a sad thing, and we are still mourning his death, definitely. But we still, went ahead and organized this event because a lot of people are relying on this event. So Malcolm, I want to thank you for your strength, to carry it and still moderate this event, honorably and professionally. So thank you very much, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. On that good note, I want to say a big thank you to His Excellency, my brother, Teshome Nkrumah, for honoring our invitation. You and I grew up, in Ottawa, and I'm very, proud of, you being our Canadian representative in Nigeria. And I know that you will definitely be a blessing and an asset, and you will be successful in your tenure in Nigeria for sure. I can tell you that our network will support you 100%. I was going to say thank you to Honourable Abike Dabiri-Erewa, but I guess she just dropped off now, so I will definitely still thank her, for taking the time to basically for accepting our invitation and for our leadership, continuous leadership in and around diaspora affairs. I really appreciate her time. We also like to thank our sister, our daughter Tairu, who is now in charge of the Trade Commission in Toronto. We really thank you for all your support and all your information that you give to us, and we will be glad to send it to our network. So, and Malcom, thank you very much for moderating this event. It's been a great success, and I will continue to build bridges as we go along on our day-to-day work. Building bridges is a continuous thing. It's a lifestyle. It's like connecting point A to point B. And so long as we are doing positive things that benefit the masses, I think we'll continue to build all kinds of bridges that are available. So thank you very much, Excellency, for accepting our invitation, and I thank you everybody for attending this event. I know that a number of people have been texting me to say that they couldn't log in for some reason or the other. We'll fix that later. I was just not in the mood to be too carried away because of our loss. So thank you all, everybody, and we wish you all the best. And Excellency, we'll keep in touch with you. And everybody, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, and have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.